We call it people technology.
インテル入ってる。
Well, there are few Delhi Capitals fans that will be mighty relieved after that. It looked like Delhi's game almost throughout, right? They were the better team on the night. They've managed to beat the Mumbai Indians at the fifth time of asking in the last 6 months. It's not the most significant game they've played against Mumbai, but they'll take that. A 6-wicket win for Rishabh Pant's side, and some questions that Mumbai Indians now tend to provoke with the pattern of games that we're seeing at Chennai. We'll discuss it all on Maruti Suzuki Presents, ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out, powered by Intel. Dale Steyn and Ajit Agarkar with me as we look back at that. It shouldn't have gotten that close, Dale, but in typical Mumbai Indians fashion, it tends to.
Yeah, if you're going to put your money on a team to drag a game out to literally the last over and almost last ball, you could put it on Mumbai Indians. Their bowling has been pretty special. If I want to fault them, it was because of their batting. Their batting hasn't been superb throughout the whole IPL so far, but their bowling has kind of gotten them out of trouble a lot of the times, and somehow almost dragged them out of it tonight too. From the Delhi Capitals' point of view, they'll just be happy that they finally got a win over Mumbai. I think it's almost 6 games now or something like that. So it doesn't matter how that win came for them, whether it came off the last ball or they won it in the 15th over. They are just very happy that they've got one over the Mumbai Indians now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no complaints on Mumbai's bowling. They made a fight of this 137, Ajit, but we still look at these games and we calculate how many overs does Jasprit Bumrah have at the end. That could very well keep Mumbai alive. And how rare is it to see him bowl 2 no balls in a close chase?
Yeah, not we don't see it that often, but he does bowl no balls. I think, and 2 in an over, I think, and these are part and parcel of the game. It happens, but these are mistakes which are certainly avoidable. You can get hit for runs. You can, someone can bat better against you. May not execute properly on a night, but no balls. Those sort of hurt you because not only does it give that extra run, gives free hit now. They didn't really concede on those free hits, but even those singles were big enough at that point for Delhi. So yeah, I mean, not the best day that Mumbai's had, in spite of making a big fight, having only 137 to defend. I'm sure they can do a lot of things better. I mean, look, that's the other thing, the way you're looking at it. In spite of not having their best day, Delhi had to really dig deep to beat them. Tells you how good they are, but not a good night for Mumbai.
Yep. All right. We look back at what possibly went wrong for Mumbai. Let me go to the top of the Delhi innings. Shikhar Dhawan, again, important little foundation built to make sure that there was no trouble towards the end, or at least they made sure that they got through of the end. But that first over incident, catch claimed by Hardik Pandya of Trent bowled. Ajit, for you, did the third umpire get that right?
I think so. Again, they didn't really magnify it as much, and you can keep arguing. The more you look at it, sometimes the better it looks or worse it looks. But I thought eventually the right decision was made because it wasn't as conclusive, at least in my opinion. Generally, even while watching, that the fingers are under the ball. You can make the decision. You can use your cricketing sort of logic. In this instance, I felt, at least personally, in my opinion, I thought there was some part of the ball touching the ground, and eventually the right decision was made.
Dale, what about you?
Yeah, tough one. Hardik looked pretty confident of it. But yeah, probably just a little bit of something on the ground there. They went to the third umpire. And we've seen worse dismissals, really. So it's good that they're using the technology. And the boys didn't like loiter about it or anything like that. They got on with it. You could think something like that could really upset the momentum of a team, but you can see they just got straight back into business and carried on as though it was just a normal delivery.
Shikhar Dhawan seems to be carrying on as well from Mumbai to Chennai. Plays the situation you think the old school Shikhar Dhawan sort of innings needed today, Dale. A run a ball 40 was more than what the team needed, and he looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been in great form so far. I mean, you can see he's the in-form batter, but even tonight on this wicket, just a little bit more of a difficult wicket. It begs the question that if there were another 20 runs on that total, it would have been a difficult chase. And for somebody that was in the kind of form that Shikhar's in, you could see he's a class act, but he did struggle to get his runs tonight. And I believe they only arrived yesterday. They hardly had a practice. Yeah. So, to get over the line on their first outing in Chennai is a great effort by Delhi.
Seems like a good call to even stack your team with the extra bit of batting. It needed Hetmeyer to come out and hit a couple of boundaries, Ajit, and Steve Smith was retained as well. Good sort of batsman to have in these conditions. Most things going right for Delhi.
Yeah, they played really well, I thought. I mean, Mumbai is such a difficult outfit to beat anywhere, and the pitch was not easy. I thought what Delhi, of course, the experience of Shikhar, I thought he looks in sensational form. Just batted, I mean, played the perfect innings that Delhi needed. Steve Smith again looked really good, just missed a straight one from Pollard at that stage. Otherwise, perfect innings again. And Lalit Yadav, I thought was very impressive, very calm under pressure. And even though he didn't hit a lot of boundaries, 22 or 25 is all that needed. I think it's such a example of what Sunrisers couldn't do the other night. Which was rotate, strike, quick singles. Everyone tried to hit the big shot, and you saw how difficult it is to hit the big shots. The deeper this game goes, they at one point I remember watching a stat when Sunrisers lost that game. There were 41 dot balls in 15 overs at one point. I think that's what Delhi's done well tonight. It'd be interesting to see because the amount of times that Shikhar and Steve Smith sort of managed to rotate, strike, left, right, does makes it more difficult for the batsman. I thought Delhi played really well. Yes, a little few more runs might have made it even more trickier, but they got the job done, and that's exactly what's needed on this pitch.
Yeah, it's perhaps the template deal at Chennai. Yes, please.
No, I was just going to say also one little thing on Shikhar. In a chase like this where the run rate doesn't quite get up to nines, it's always like around 6 or something like that. It's always difficult. Straight after that little timeout break there, Shikhar came out and I think he went 6-4 and he just lowered the pressure so quickly. And he was able to do that because he had given himself so much time. And had he not been in the form that he's in now, and he got out, for example, without playing those shots, that may have been a little difference over there. So it's these small little moments in the game where teams kind of win it before the game is over. And that little moment right there, straight after the timeouts, that was a critical moment for Delhi to just kind of kick on and get going.
Yep, all right. They've become only the second team to win at Chennai, chasing after AB de Villiers took RCB. These are lesser mortals that have done it. AB managed it on the opening night. Let's have a quick chat on the Mumbai Indians here. They've won 2 out of their first 3, and they still looks a good team, Ajit. But do they need to revisit this whole win the toss and bat first? That's now 3. You could even argue 4 batting failures of sorts. The winning tosses. This is how they want to set up. But would they be better served chasing?
I don't think so. You'd want to chase on that pitch. Now, dew, you can't really account for the dew. I don't think, it's not a guarantee that they'll be due. And in spite of that dew and, no balls and not the best day that Mumbai have had, Delhi won in the last over. So, there were 10 extras today, including the leg buys. So, no, I don't think any team would want to bat second on that. I know David Warner's done it a couple of times and they haven't gotten over the line because the pitch certainly was difficult. There was no doubt about it. It wasn't the easiest of pitch. Mumbai just didn't bat well. And that's something that they need to fix, whether they bat first or bat second. For such a formidable batting lineup, they need to, their middle order needs to now start performing a little bit better. I think the top order, Quinton de Kock's not had any score yet, but Rohit and Surya Kumar Yadav have been in good form. But after that, those guys need to start stepping up, even though the conditions are difficult. Perhaps look at what a pass score is instead of trying to get too many. Whether that's if they bat first or if they're chasing, they just need to bat better.
All right, you go with that, Dale. That the problem isn't what they do, but it does look like they're struggling to find the right pace to set a target in the last 2 or 3 attempts of asking.
Yeah, I think in that middle order there too, sometimes, and I'm not saying that anybody's got an ego, but you can put your ego of scoring at a strike rate of 150 to 180 aside when playing at Chennai. I'm sure these guys are so used to playing at Wankhede that's what they're accustomed to, but maybe a strike rate of 100, 110, and I use ego very, very lightly when I say that, but just to be able to play in a similar kind of fashion in the way that somebody like Shikhar did tonight, even though he struck at maybe 110 or 120, I'm not certain how much it was at the end of the day, but that could be enough to win you games. And we saw Hardik come out tonight, and the first ball he faced, he tried to hit it out of the ground for 6. Probably not the way to go. So he's going to have to take some learning out of this. And if they don't, they're going to struggle going forward. But this could be Mumbai's kind of season where they come back from the bottom. Who knows? They're such a good team, you know. They will learn from these mistakes, though.
All right. As we just wrap things up, Shikhar Dhawan just looks in sublime touch and form. Even when they're checking his catches in the first over, he's having a bit of a laugh. He doesn't mind which way it goes. Ajit, one line on Shikhar Dhawan and how good he's looking this season?
No, sensational, really. I mean, it's today was a tough test, especially no. Okay, Steve Smith batted really well, but you knew always that they weren't they weren't too far ahead of where Mumbai Indians were. So it was always going to be a case of protecting your wicket for a while and then rotating strikes. So what he's done today is as good as what he's done in Mumbai.
Yeah, terrific. He played beautifully. He's had a couple knocks in Mumbai where he's scored at a strike rate of close to 200. Like, he was flying and able to put that aside tonight and bat slightly differently, but get his team into a position to win. That shows massive maturity and that he's willing to be there for the side and adapt. So I think he's been fantastic so far this IPL.
All right. Well, Mumbai have just one more game in Chennai. Then the venue changes. I don't know if they'd be happy or be looking forward to a shift, but they go to Delhi next. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much, Ajit Agarkar. We'll see you tomorrow. Big double header lined up. Dale Steyn. Few days off, and we'll see you again on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out, powered by Intel. Story for tonight is the Delhi Capitals finally getting the better of the Mumbai Indians.
We call it people technology.
インテル入ってる